Once upon a time, and not so long ago, there was a duck, and she was really happy sitting on her eggs. She was sitting there, moving them around with her beak. One really big egg and 4 other smaller eggs. There came the day that there was a crack, 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 and she could feel them as they began to hatch. One by one, the ducklings emerged from their shells. One of them, a lot bigger than the others, all grey and fluffy and quite ugly, all gangly and twice the size of the other ducklings. However, Mama Duck was very happy with her little brood, and off she waggled and wiggled to the pond to take her little ducklings on an adventure, their first journey into the water. Off they went, plop, 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 into the water they went. And Mama Duck was happy, happy, happy. And over the days, people began to comment, the other ducks. Who's that ugly duckling in your brood? What's that ugly duckling? It's not like us, it doesn't belong here. Mama Duck was like, no, this is my baby. It's just sat in the shell a little bit longer than the others. And over the time, the little duckling, again and again, was called ugly, and he didn't fit in. He became sad. And the mother duck, she also began to question this strange, grey, gangly duckling. Eventually, she too decided that he was not one of her brood, and she pushed him away. The little duckling went off very sad, feeling really cast out and very, very upset. And off he went, and he came to a house, and the children brought him in. And they're like, look what we found. Can we keep him? And the mama and the father said, oh yes, this is a duck. This will lay us eggs. This is good. So they took in the duckling. The duckling was very happy. And the days passed and the weeks passed, and the duckling became bigger and greyer and more gangly, until again and again they were questioning, this is not a duck. Ducks don't look like this, and he's not laying any eggs. He's really bad. He needs to go. And again, he was shooed out of where he was beginning to call home. Off he went, walking away. And an old woman came and found him and picked him up. Oh, fabulous. I too have found a duck. This duck is going to lay me good eggs. Off he went, until again it was realised, and the ducks was in the house, and the mother of the house again, she was like, this is not good. And the cat was following it, calling it ugly and hissing at it. You are ugly, you don't belong here. And it used to chase him around, until one day it chased him so much he flapped and he flew up, and he knocked off all the pans, and the old woman shooed him out the house. Go, 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 you do not belong here. You are nothing but trouble. Go, you ugly, ugly thing. And the days passed, and the months passed, and the duckling, on his own, swam in the river with people taunting him again and again. That ugly, ugly thing, and throwing stones at him. He felt very sad. And the leaves fell, and the wind grew cooler. And as he was sitting by the side of the pond, other ducks came, and they said, "Oh, join us." And so he swam along. He swam along with the ducks. And as they swam, the other two ducks went into the air. Bang, bang. And he went, "Oh no." So again, he was left alone. And again, the leaves fell from the trees. And winter began to come. And as he swam in circles and in circles on the pond that he was in, to stop the water from freezing around him, one day he looked up. He looked up, he looked up, he looked up. And above him there was this cry and this call of something that made his heart sing and soar like never before. It was a call that he knew so deeply in his heart, and he couldn't understand it. And he looked up and he saw these magnificent, beautiful, white birds with big, big wings flying above him. Oh, and how he longed to be one of those birds and to be with them. But no, he was an ugly duckling, and he was one to live on his own, alone. And he continued to swim in circles, alone and sad and heartbroken, wishing for nothing but the darkness, to leave the mortal body that he was in, the duck body, and off. So he continued to walk and swim. And then as he walked and as he swam in circles, stopping the ice from forming around him, the spring began to come and the waters began to thaw. And he began to stretch his wings, and he began to hear the sounds of people singing and dancing, and the people around him began to look and point. And as he continued on his journey, quite alone, he looked down in the water that had melted around him. He looked down and he saw in the water the face of one of those beautiful, magical birds that he'd seen so long ago flying in the sky, where his heart had called out. And what he saw was beauty and grace, and what he saw was magnificent. And as he swam and as he swam and as he felt the fullness of his wings and his body and his neck, other white birds appeared beside him. They said, "Come, come, come with us. You are one of us. Come, come." And off he went, happily finding his tribe. The Ugly Duckling's one of those stories that I studied at uni and I fell in love with this story because it resonated so deeply for me. It tells of feeling isolated, it tells of feeling alone, it tells of being different, and how when we find those that are alike and our kin and our tribe and our community, how vitally important that is. And yet we often have to go through the dark night of the soul in order to get there. We have to go through the transformation from being the ugly duckling to become the swan. We have to go through the alchemical process of being trodden and lonely and begotten potentially, and losing most things in order to come to that place of grace and beauty where whatever happens we find that in ourselves. And that's my prayer for us all, that we find the beauty in ourselves. It's a work in progress always for me, and yet day by day, breath by breath, moment by moment, it comes. And there is such faith and such trust in the potential of finding those that are our tribe and those that are our beloveds. And so I wish you all good things in finding that in which your heart sings and your heart is met.